Hi, I think we can both hear each other. It's How are you?
I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
good. I am so sorry. We've had some technical problems here and yeah, but we're here. S-
No
So
problem.
everybody on my end, this is Andrea Pickett. She is the executive director at my father's house in Gresham, Oregon. And Andrea, I don't know if you introduced me or not, if anybody knows who I am, but
I did, but I
okay.
will do it again real quickly.
Oh,
I am connected with my friend Kim Cook, and she is the executive director, CEO, the head chief of Bread of Life Mission in Seattle.
yes, yes. And it's so good to see you. How are you guys doing on the bench?
I'm pretty good. I can't see you, but I can hear you. So I'm just imagining your beautiful
Oh,
face.
wow. I can see you, and somehow there's a double picture of me, so I don't know.
Oh,
This Zoom
okay.
thing is beyond me. Um,
Yes.
so,
I'm feeling a little, I kind of hit a wall a little bit ago.
yeah, I started to do that too. Not thinking on all cylinders right now. So, um, have you had a lot of interviews?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, it feels like we've just kind of been one after the other, which has been really great. It's made the time go by quickly, but I feel like our conversations have been super diverse.
Hmm.
So we've had some former residents, we had the police chief, um, I had a quick chat with Tom
Mm.
DeVries and then our city manager, a city councilor, a local Ford dealership owner, and then a staff member, my cousin and my husband. So yeah, it's been pretty
That's
packed.
great. That's great.
14. We've had 14
Oh,
interviews.
wow. I don't know how many we've had, but um, I've had a lot of people from different nonprofits and different agencies in the community. I had
Uh-huh.
I had Chief Amy Barden here. She is over the 911 call center and care. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
care goes out on like calls that maybe the police don't need to be on, and they're just awesome. It's
That's
kind of equal to police and fire. So it's
okay.
yeah, really love Amy. So we've had some really good conversations. I've interviewed some guys from the mission and some staff, and I just had a community member pop by, and we talked for about 5 minutes before we got on. But it's been
Uh-huh.
really good. What would you say is the number one theme that has come through?
Definitely for us, you just popped up, so now I can see
Oh,
you.
good.
That's super fun. Definitely for us, it has been that yes, we have a homeless crisis, but it's more of a humanitarian
Mm.
crisis. And I think when we call it a homeless crisis, that the human is taken out of it.
Oh,
And so when we
so good.
call it a humanitarian crisis,
Hmm.
it reminds us that each individual that is homeless is a human.
Hmm.
So that's really been a theme that has carried throughout most of my conversations.
Mm, that is so good. I never heard it put that way, but that's exactly what we've been saying. Is that we have to see
Hmm.
people, and really, it's about relationships. The reason people are homeless in the first place is they've lost all those relationships, and we're it for
Hmm.
them. We can enter
Right.
in and walk with them, and we have to also connect them with other people so they have a community. So
Right.
yeah, yeah, that's great.
Can you Can you tell just, a bit about Bread of Life and the population you serve and what you guys do?
Yeah. So we are right down in Pioneer Square, the historic part of Seattle. Actually,
Mhm.
from what I understand, our building used to be a brothel. So it's
Oh,
definitely some history there and story of redemption, I guess. So
sure.
we've got a very old building. We've been here for over 85 years. And we have about 100 beds for men and we have an enhanced shelter, which means that people can come in, but they have to agree to try to stay clean and sober and
Mhm.
accept case management. We no longer have the emergency shelter where they can come in under the influence and just
Mhm.
mm, over and over, because I really felt that we were enabling in doing that. So we will
Mhm.
still have that when it's cold weather, but otherwise we're
Sure.
a clean and sober building now.
Mhm.
And then we will assess people and either help them find a place that's right for their needs, or if they can stay and go through our program. It's a 9-step program that gets people um, all the way through, like helps them with sobriety and mental and emotional stability and schooling and getting them into living wage jobs, and then helps them
Mhm.
to save money so that they can get into their own housing. So we help people all along that path. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You don't do treatment um, and rehab there
Mm-mm.
in your mission,
No, we
correct?
do not right now. I'm looking
Mhm.
for a partner that will work with us to come into our building and do that. I want to build a much more a sobriety program with a lot more depth, and
Mhm.
you know, help them with the the reasons they became addicted, and the mental and emotional
Mhm.
part, but also the have some medically assisted treatment. So
Sure.
yeah.
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 So how long do you have a length of time that you have a program that your men come in and go through?
I say that it's an average of 9 to 12 months, but really I don't like having those time limits. Oh, saw
Sure.
my first rat. That's fun.
Did you lift your feet? I'm really impressed you didn't squeal.
No, if it was up here, it would be all over. But it was just going across the street. Uh, anyway, yeah, where was I? I just completely lost my mind.
We were talking about length
Yes,
of
length of
time for
stay.
program and that not.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I don't like time limits because we have to have things that keep people moving forward for sure.
Mhm.
But if we have a time limit, it just people just think that, well, I hit that time limit and now I'm out or I'm done. And it's more about what happens in that time, and what outcomes they've hit. So I want to talk more
Mhm.
about those goals. And data shows that the longer somebody is in a program, the better chance that they're going to stick in their recovery. So
Yeah.
so we could have people here a few years if they need extra schooling or training for job or whatever.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So approximately how many men went through your program, say like in 2024?
Oh, I do not have that number at top of mind. And honestly, last year we made a lot of changes. We
Mhm.
completely changed how we were doing things. I've been here for just a little over 2 years. So I listened
Mhm.
for about 6 months, and then I started making changes. So last year
Yeah.
was retooling. Um,
Sure.
but
Sure.
we've been really seeing a lot of guys get housing, and that's a big one of our big data points. And like last week we had 3 guys move into their own apartments. So
Oh, that's
yeah, so
awesome.
just on if you multiply that out, um yeah,
Mhm.
and I do not have any of the numbers in my head. I should.
Sure.
But we're seeing a lot more people going through now, and we're able to focus now that we're not doing the emergency shelter every night. That took a lot of manpower, and it wasn't getting us anywhere. It was guys that were coming in under the influence over and over and over. And now we're able to put that time into the program, and we're seeing really great results.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. a lot of us that work in this space I love that we can be nimble,
Yeah.
right? And that we see this is working, this isn't,
Hmm.
hey, let's shift, let's do this. And really that we're led by the Lord.
Yes, and not the government grant, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because sometimes you can't be nimble if you're being funded by a grant, whether it's working or
Mm-hmm.
not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you tell my folks what you do?
Absolutely. So we are a family shelter. So we work with single moms, single dads, and two-parent families, but they have to have custody of a child to come in. And so I was just running through statistics for a grant that I was applying for. So last year we had 25 men, 53 women, and 122 children come through our
Wow.
program.
Wow.
So and at no point in time were we completely full. And so I will say that those statistics will be higher this year because right now our floor for single moms is full. And so we've got a couple moms that are here with 3 and 4 kiddos.
Hmm.
So that's, if you look at that, the statistics for last year, 122 children that came from either couch surfing, or in cars outside. That's a lot of homeless children.
Mm.
And so our program is really a life transformation and back to work program. So it's people who recognize that they don't like where they are and they're ready to actively participate in moving forward and doing something different. So all of our adult residents have to get full-time employment in the first 45 days they're in our program. And then kids have to be enrolled in and attending school because there's a difference
Hmm.
between enrolled and attending. Um, and so then all of our adult residents meet with case managers on a weekly basis. And we work with them to combine our predetermined program goals and their own personal goals. So they feel like they're not just, running in this circle, but they are also accomplishing things that they want to accomplish.
Mm.
So things that we take for granted, right? It looks like I'm frozen.
No,
Oh, now it's
you're not.
back. Okay, perfect. Um, so we take for granted that we have a primary care physician, or that the kids have primary care physicians or dentists, and that kids are seeing doctors for, eye doctors. All of these things, again, that we take for granted, that if you are not living in stability, that you're not taking care of for yourself,
Hmm.
let alone for your kids, and how that affects kids in school. And so one of the things that I often talk about is that we want to end that generational cycle of homelessness and
Mm.
poverty. So we do that. We work on that here by having life skills classes for our
Hmm.
adults. And for those of us that didn't grow up in I'll say trauma, broken homes, and I'll say more kind of normal life, we absorbed a lot of those life skills.
Hmm.
So we do classes like finance and budgeting, parenting, grief and
Hmm.
coping, cooking on a budget, and so giving our adults tools that they may not have, and then having the kids alongside them and watching their parents take those tools and implement them in their lives and change the trajectory of their lives. So as
Hmm.
much as we love the kiddos that come through our program, we want them back as volunteers, not residents.
Yeah. Yeah. And, people have a heart for the little kids, but it's really the
Mhm.
parents that we need to help because if the parents are healthy, the kids will grow up healthy, right? If we help those
Mhm.
kids and the parents aren't changed, nothing's going to change. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. It takes a village,
it
right?
really
And so
does.
if we can also provide that extra love and support to a child, because we know when parents are homeless, when they're in our shelter, they are at max
Hmm.
capacity. and they may not have additional capacity for their kids. And so if we can come alongside and help fill in those gaps, then we're being part of that village,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So those are some of those places that those holes that we try and help fill. And it's one of my favorite parts of our program. And I love to occasionally escape from my office and go down to the children's center and hold a baby,
Yeah.
read a book to a child.
Mhm.
It's a great little escape, but it's one of my favorite
I
parts.
wish I could do that. I go and teach a class to our guys, but there's no babies to hold. So, but it's really hard sometimes as a CEO to escape from the office, isn't it?
It is. It
You
is.
really have to do it very intentionally because it reminds
Mhm.
us why we're doing what we do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really important.
I've shared a couple times with people that have sat with me on the bench about how much the call that we had yesterday meant to me, where the CEOs gathered and took time out of our preparation for this to pray about the event.
Mm,
And where else do you get to experience that? You don't experience that in corporate America,
mhm.
but how thankful I am that that's something that we get to experience and
Mhm.
that we get to do together. And I walked out of my office after we had that call, and I was just I had tears running down my face, and one of my staffers was, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, I am so tremendously blessed, and being able to do this is just, man, I just felt inspired and encouraged, and it's a great environment,
Yeah.
and I love that support from Citygate and from the other CEOs because we can come alongside each other, encourage each other. And not only does it take a village to raise kids and to encourage our residents, but we need a village. We need that support as well.
Yeah, we really do. And I really appreciate Citygate because it gives us that support. There
Hmm.
aren't a lot of people who understand what we do in a mission. And
Right.
we see that when our staff go to like fall retreats and they're like, there's
Hmm.
somebody else that does the same job that I do. I had no idea. They think that we're the only ones doing it, and it's so fun to see that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even more, the CEOs being able to get together is so
Hmm.
valuable because we learn
Hmm.
from one another, we support one another, we pray for each other, and
Yeah.
we constantly ping ideas back and forth. And
Hmm.
that's just so good because you know, uh, our directors, our staff can have relationships, friendships with each other and support. But not many people understand what happens. Like some of the decisions we have to make in that chair they're really hard, right? And
Yeah.
so having
Yeah.
people that understand that is really, really critical for our mental well-being.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm so thankful for you. And, we met at a Citygate conference, and it was my first conference, and I'd only been executive director for maybe a month or
Hmm.
so, and I was a hot mess.
I don't remember that.
I'm glad that you don't remember that, but I had no idea that there were other people doing what we do, right? I
Hmm.
knew that there were rescue missions. I knew that, but I hadn't connected. I hadn't had the
Hmm.
time. I didn't have the exposure
Hmm.
to connect to other executive directors and CEOs. And so, um, when we sat down and started talking, and I was sharing some of my heartache and frustration and stress, and like, I'm not sure I'm where I'm supposed to be. I don't know what I'm doing. And you took the time to listen and encourage me, and have done so for many hours since then. And it's just such a blessing to be able to have those connections and to support each other.
It really is. And so many people have done that for me. So
Mm.
it's just that's what we need to do for each other. We need to be there. So and I've just been blessed to have you as a friend, and now we live close. We met when I lived in upstate New York, and now I'm like
Yeah.
a couple hours from you. We still don't get to see each other often, but it's I just really have appreciated, Andrea, your passion for what you do and for the people that are in your program, and you love those little kids, and you love the families, and you're like, you came up through, so you know what you're talking about. You're not like
Mm.
just sitting in the CEO office making decisions. You're in it. You're in the mission every day, and I appreciate that and your passion. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and you work really hard too. We all do, but I see you working really hard, like planning events and doing all the things. So anyway, yeah. But
Oh.
anything else you want to talk about before we head or say goodbye?
Um, I just want you to know that I'm praying for you and that God will lead the conversations that you have. And we've got what, about 12 hours
Yeah,
left?
we just hit the halfway mark, like just
Yes.
now. Yes. You know, I looked forward to this event. I love it, but I'm starting to get
Yeah.
tired, and I
Hmm.
am looking forward to a little nap here on this bench. It won't be a great nap, but but I will.
Well, I'm talking with Lauren in Winchester
Oh,
at 12:30.
I was supposed to
So,
connect with her, and something happened. She was a little late, and we put somebody else on the bench. Then she came up. Tell her I am so sorry I missed her. But anytime between 12 and 4, I'm happy to connect.
I will let her know that.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right.
It's really good to see you.
You
Okay.
you too. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Oh, we're going to go to a quick break, and I'll be right back.